Bleacher Report asked a good question. Was Shedeur Sanders snubbed after not being placed on either All-American team? Despite some publications saying he gonna be the #1 pick in the draft. Let's talk about this, y'all. Let's talk about it. Before we do, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy First, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some again. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, and put all of your people on it. Okay. Also, while you're at it, make sure you shop with the King McNeil collection. That is the King McNeil collection for all of your fraternity or sorority needs. They are the best in all of the business when it comes to that. All right. Visit kingmcneil.com or download the app. And be sure to tell them First sent you. Okay. But let's get into this, y'all. Okay. I'll tell y'all who's actually on the list first. Okay. And then we'll look at some of these other things that are going on around. The dialogue around Shedeur is some of the most all over the place shit that I've seen. Okay. Like I said, I've seen publications say this man is about to be the #1 player off the damn board. But then I've seen shit that have him as the 8th best quarterback in the country. You know what I'm saying? Fuck 8th best player, 8th best quarterback. Period. Like, it's all over the place. All right. But in terms of the All-American team, first team All-American at QB was Carson Beck from Georgia. All right. And on the second team, it was Dillon Gabriel from Oregon. Okay. Now you might say, well, maybe Shedeur, just missed it. And maybe he did. Maybe he did. But my brother Tim G. Jacobs sent me something from ESPN from some months back. This was actually published in March of this year. And this publication here has Shedeur all the way down as the 8th best quarterback coming into this year. Okay. Above Shedeur, they got Carson Beck, like I said, from Georgia, Dillon Gabriel from Oregon, the Quinn kid from Texas, Milroe from Alabama, the Noah kid from Arizona, and Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. They got Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders as well. Okay. Jalen Daniels even out of Kansas. They got him over Shedeur. So I see this, but then, like I said, I've seen mock drafts have this man #1 in it. I really have. I've seen that. So the shit's all over the place when it comes to Shedeur. Let's read what ESPN has to say about him in this article. Again, this is from March. Okay. But it says Colorado's start to the season ended up being a mirage on several levels, but not regarding Sanders, who transitioned well from the FCS to the FBS. He finished 9th nationally in completion percentage, 10th in passing yards average, and 4th in interception percentage, despite the team's late season challenges and incessant pummeling that left him with a broken back. Yeah, he was getting his ass whooped last year. Sanders set Colorado's single-game passing record in his Buffs debut, piling up 510 yards at TCU. He had 348 passing yards or more in 5 games and had multiple touchdown passes 7 times, while throwing just 1 interception in his final 6 contests. Sanders generated NFL draft buzz, especially during the first half of the season, and finished with a team record 3,230 passing yards and 27 touchdowns, second most in CU history. He will enter his first full season with coordinator Pat Shermer, who took on play calling in November. Sanders ultimately must do his part to limit sacks and hits after taking 52 sacks and being pressured on 39.9% of his dropbacks. If he stays healthy and keeps progressing in the Buffs' new league, he should be one of the top quarterbacks on NFL draft boards for 2025. Okay. So it looks like they speak very highly of him, other than the sack shit. Okay. And I like to listen to the experts when it comes to that, because they can tell you when a sack is on the line. And I think sometimes your naked eye can see if a motherfucker just getting his ass whooped off the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm talking about? But sometimes it's more complex than that. Sometimes the quarterback is holding the goddamn ball too long. Sometimes a wide receiver might, do the incorrect thing. That makes the quarterback hold the ball too long. That leads to a sack. Sometimes a lot of shit goes on. So I like when you have experts break that shit down and, tell us the for real of what the fuck the business is, you know what I'm talking about. But I have heard numerous experts say that Shedeur holds the ball too long. Okay. Now, is that enough to drop him all the way down to 8th? If we just talking quarterbacks? And it doesn't seem like, from what I've heard from folks now, that this quarterback class got a Caleb Williams in it, you know what I'm talking about, or Trevor Lawrence, or Andrew Luck. And, I'm just thinking about guys who you knew that, okay, this going to be that one at quarterback. No. But they look at some of these other guys more highly than they do Shedeur, at least in that publication. Okay. So maybe that kind of thinking is what drove whoever votes on the damn All-American team, to not put him on there. Okay. But I'm sure Colorado fans gonna feel like he got snubbed, and I'm sure a lot of Jackson State fans gonna feel like he got snubbed. Because most of us still support the young man. You feel me? He threw that bitch around the yard for us, Jack. He did. And he was throwing the bitch around the yard for Colorado. He just couldn't stay vertical. Now, his daddy claims he's fixed the offensive line. We shall see. I haven't kept up with the ins and outs of their recruiting like that since they picked up Seaton. Okay, that was a big get. But whatever they've done in the transfer portal, I don't know. I don't really. It's hard for me to judge any of that shit, other than you look at the rankings. Okay, and these guys, whoever make these transfer rankings, these recruiting class rankings, whoever does that, they are supposed to be the experts. They're supposed to know what they're doing. Okay, so of course you can go by that, but ultimately we won't know about a lot of this shit till these guys get on that fucking field. That's when we'll know. Okay, kind of like last, even with ranking these teams, like the publication do. Coming out the box, you thought the TCU win was a great win. You know what I'm talking about? TCU had previously been in the national championship game. Okay, they're coming off that, so they had a number by their name when they came into that game against Colorado. Turns out TCU was trash. So that win didn't look as good as we thought. So when these games get played, that's when we're going to find out a lot about Shedeur Sanders' line. That's when we're going to find out a lot about him. Because if that line is doing better, if he's getting a sit back there and tap that ball a little bit and he ain't getting hit, but then somehow these motherfuckers getting coverage sacks and shit, all right, that's going to be on him and them goddamn receivers then. Okay? That's going to be on them. But again, we won't know that type of shit till the games are played, dog. All this talk is almost over, and the damn time is now where we about to see, whether it be Colorado, whether it be Jackson State, whether it be whoever the team is you fuck with, we about to finally see. So I would hope, this is what I would say, I would hope that shit like this lights a fire under the young king and he goes out there and does his thing. You feel me? In that regard, I would hope that he kind of doesn't do what his pops is doing with the media right now. You know what I'm talking about? It seems like his pops really feeling some type of way about some of the shit in the media. Now, the thing I told you about last week, the Athlon Sports joint, he should feel some type of way about that. That was a hit piece. But whatever he was beefing with the CBS folks over, all they got to do is win. If CBS had him ranked low and something, I think they had him ranked low based on what Shannon Shaw was talking about. Because I clicked on his shit to try to see, okay, what was he going to say about it? He let him off the hook. You know, that was somebody else treating the media like that. He would have probably lit into their ass, you know what I'm talking about? But that's his boy. But seems like what Prime was pissed off with is being ranked low in some ranking of coaches that CBS did. And all you gotta do is win. Al Davis said it, just win, baby. And that'll change every goddamn thing. So it's the same for Prime, it's the same for his son, Shedeur Sanders. All they gotta do, win, put up numbers, throw for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, minimize turnovers. And preseason All-American won't mean shit. Postseason awards and trophies, and ultimately where your ass gets drafted. That's what's really gonna solidify his legacy. So what do y'all think, though? Do you think Shedeur Sanders was snubbed by not being listed on one of the two All-American, preseason All-American lists? Let us know. Put it on some.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel, because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.